So firstly, in terms of the current tournament, what's your experience? What would you take away from it?
I would say for me it was all about the kind of like pre-season. I know it's obviously competitive games, but with the last 2 seasons we had, obviously going all the way to the playoff final and then the Scottish Cup final, it kind of felt, well for me personally, it kind of felt like 2 seasons into one, with a short break in between. So I think the rest that we got in the summer was definitely needed for the boys, considering those 2 seasons. But so we always knew it was going to be that kind of pre-season feel to it, but it's still competitive games. We've obviously not done as well in it as we'd like to, but you need to take that with a pinch of salt. I think there's a lot of good in our performances in the cup games that we've had, but maybe just individual errors killing us, which everyone knows it's clear to see, do you know what I mean? But I don't think we're far away at all from really bringing it all together.
How useful will it be taking on a Premiership side?
No, it'll be, obviously we played them last season, then being in the Championship, and they're obviously a Premiership side now, which comes with probably more money, signing better players and stuff like that compared to what they were last year. But we proved ourselves last season, I feel, against Premiership opposition, which we're more than capable of holding our own. So it'll be a good test for us just to gauge it really and see if they've improved and where we're at, kind of thing. But now looking forward to it.
And your thoughts for the season ahead?
The same as last season, to be honest. I want to get Inverness promoted back into the top division. Being like from here and stuff like that, it's always in the back of my mind, kind of thing, because when I watched Cali, they were flying up in 3rd in Europa League and stuff like that. So it's obviously a thing in the back of my mind. I want to get them back to the Premiership, and hopefully we can do that this season.
How confident realistically are you of that?
Yeah, I'm confident. We've got a good group. We've brought in some boys. Obviously it's going to take some time to gel. It's very early in the season. You don't win leagues or anything like that in July, do you know what I mean? So I'm confident in the team we have, and whether if we add more or lose boys, that you know how seasons go and stuff like that. But no, I'm confident that we can be up there this season.
And if there was one thing in particular, if you were writing your diary for the past year, what was the highlight?
The past year, it's got to be the Scottish Cup final. Do you know what I mean? It's only been like 21 and I've played a lot of games now, but Scottish Cup final and Scottish football's probably the peak of it, do you know what I mean? Especially to play against Celtic. It was like, as soon as you walk out, you're like, come on then, let's have this kind of thing. It gives you that buzz, and can't really describe the feeling of it, but that was probably my highlight.
So I think we said this last season, so I mean, you're not a young boy anymore now, you're an experienced veteran, but obviously one of the boys should have been sort of challenging for your place. Big Lewis Nicholson get an injury the other night and it doesn't look good, but I'm sure you'd be gutted for the big one.
Yeah, touch wood kind of thing. I'm gutted for Lewis, honestly, because I know how much effort he puts in, like, to every day, and his rehab, because he's obviously done one of his knees before, and touch wood it's not as bad. But the only positive maybe is that it's his other knee, some people have been saying. But I'm gutted for him. Like, I speak to Lewis quite a lot. Our dads are pals, we went to the same high school and stuff like that, so he asked me little questions here and there, like try and help him and stuff like that, just as any older player would do. I say older, but he's only a couple of years older than him, you know what I mean? But try and help him and stuff like that. And I obviously said to him, I'll be there kind of thing if he ever needs anything. But I'm gutted for him because it's not a nice one. It didn't look it anyway.
No, fingers crossed the big number in the scan happens. A few new boys that came in, and it's sort of young, promising signs. Some boys that have been about the league for a couple of years. But how you feel the mix in the team is at the moment? You've obviously probably got a familiar back 4, back 5, depending who plays. So how's the new boys integrated in, and what have you thought of the new signings?
No, they've integrated in well, to be fair. I mean, it's still early days, so it's a wee bit more before they kind of fully relax, do you know what I mean? They're coming into a new team and stuff like that, but I feel like they've integrated well, and like you say, it's slightly younger boys this year and stuff like that, but I think that can only be promising for us because they have quality. You see that, do you know what I mean? And they're all good players, so I think they'll help us definitely with the season going on.
Right, and then the Dundee game, I know it's disappointing, obviously we can't progress, but St Billy, this is probably ideal prep for Queen's Park, isn't it? Playing away at a big hostile, big crowd as well. That'll sort of hold you boys in good stead for next Saturday's game at home.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was obviously, I think the gaffer kind of well documented it that this cup group would be kind of pre-season, and going into the first league game against Queen's Park, there probably isn't a better game to end on, kind of thing, with Dundee in our group. But although we would have liked to have qualified and got out of this group, we understand it was also pre-season for us, kind of thing. But like you said, it will be a good test for us building up to that first league game, which is the most important thing, really.
Right, good luck Sunday, mate.
Thank you, cheers.